Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live for Financial Fitness Friday, and we're going to touch on some kind of current events, right? It's a little crazy right now, all the news, markets whipsawing. Uh, the markets are just going crazy, and give you a little bit of insight into the tariffs, the trade war, and what you can and can't control, okay? So, first off, I love that Goldman and a couple of these guys are coming out and saying, hey, we're in a recession or we have a high likelihood of recession. Here's the reality. We've actually been in a recession, even though the market's been going up. Okay. So the stock market is not the economy. Okay. And so they actually, if you guys remember, and we covered it here, we went over that they changed the definition of a recession. Okay. So they changed the definition of a recession. Usually it's 2 quarters or more of contracting growth. All right. We had that. Are we in one now or not? Hard to tell. Doesn't really matter because what matters is what we can focus on and what we can control. All right. This everything that is being overblown with this trade war and the tariffs, I think is 100% overblown. I think long term it's going to be great for us and great for our country. Okay. So it's just sticking with that plan because here's the deal. What it's forcing companies to do is bring manufacturing back here. All of these major companies, especially car companies, started manufacturing overseas. So now with tariffs, it incentivizes them to bring manufacturing back here. And this does 2 things. One, it creates way more jobs for Americans. Okay. And 2, it allows us to be independent of other countries where we don't need their production facilities. All right. And this is important, especially in turbulent times. It makes us stronger, it makes us more independent. So that's why that's going on. And here's the reality. If we can increase our revenues substantially, right, from tariffs and from all these things, we can then lower our own tax rate, right? Because the money's coming in, right? And people don't realize that. And that's probably what the long-term play here is if we get enough tariffs and we get enough money from external countries, we do not have to pay the amount of taxes we do. I don't think we should be paying the amount of taxes we pay now. No, not even close. And I'd love to see them eliminated. And 2, okay, if we are able to do this and we stick with this, it will fund a lot of growth, fuel a lot of growth for us. Okay, so that's really what's going on. If you look at certain things like precious metals right now, when you see a lot of uncertainty, okay, gold is going through the roof. All right, 3250, right? Somebody
3146 for
somebody for the last couple of years have been telling you guys to buy real estate, digital assets, and precious metals, hard assets. I don't know, Dave, who was saying that for the last, 2 years, 3 years? Must be a really smart guy.
I don't know, Fonte Jodera.
Yeah, so something like that, right? And so this is kind of the culmination of that, right? So that's kind of what we're at now. Let's see what's China's reaction to this. If they try to fight it, there's a couple things they can do. One, they're selling the bonds that they hold. So just so you guys understand why they would be selling the bonds that they hold, okay, is when they sell their bonds, the price of bonds has an inverse relationship to the interest rate. Okay, so as the price of the bond goes up, the interest rate goes down. As the price of the bond goes down, the interest rate goes up. So by China selling almost $1 trillion or trying to sell $1 trillion of government debt, okay, what they're effectively doing is trying to raise our interest rates internally in the country, okay, to hurt the markets and to hurt the economy. But I don't think what we're doing to them is going to be far more powerful, and they're in a pretty worse shape than we are, and so they will probably relent first and come to the negotiating table. This is just how I see it, and guys, this is someone that just to give you a little bit of background here. Besides being in business lending for 15 years and understanding the markets, this is actually what I went to college for. Okay, like economics, believe it or not. So I have a pretty decent idea of what is going on and why. Now, let's talk about what we can do about it, Dave. Can we control anything that's going on right now?
No.
No, we can vote, right? We can't. Does that mean that, you know, our business is going to be different? It could, right? But here's the deal. You still have to show up. You still have to control all the controllables. And the people that don't understand that are the people that consistently lose, right? When you look around and you see all the chaos and you see all the shit that's going on, right? And you're sitting there focused on, oh, well, this is going on, and Orange Man bad, or China's bad, or Ukraine's bad, or whatever version of the thing that you want to blame is. The reality is, winners focus on what they can control, how they can get through it, how they can grow, and losers, people that consistently lose, look to blame what the external surroundings are. Okay, so there's a lot of things here that we can actually control. Right? You can control how hard you work. You can control, like if you're in a sales environment, how many calls you make. Okay. You can control how much you post. You can control all the functions and factors of your job and your day to day. Okay. To help and grow your company. Right. And to earn additional income. These are all things that are in your control every single day. Your fitness is in control. Okay. Your finances, your faith. These are all things that you have a lot of control over, right, Dave? I mean, how do you see this?
100%, man. Let's bring it down to Main Street a little bit, right? So exactly what Jonathan's saying, control your controllables. And let's correlate some of this to fitness because, let's be real here, guys. All the noise on the outside, all the I don't even call it news anymore. It's straight propaganda, and you can say whatever you want. I think the conspiracy theories are 10 million and 0 currently. So they're on the winning side of that. But guys, look at the other side of the world. Tariff this, tariff that. When you don't understand something and you're just looking at something surface level, like Jonathan said, he's naturally an economist, basically, so to speak, right? So these are things that he looks at. Guys, on the China side, everybody wants to talk about China. That yuan is going down in value, right? So they're getting hammered too. And I think another thing that people forget is, as Jonathan said,
hold on. What happens when the yuan goes down in value? Do you guys get that? Do you guys understand why that? So when our dollar rises, it makes goods that we would buy from other countries cheaper. Okay, it makes supplies cheaper. It makes everything else cheaper. So guess what happens when the yuan goes down and goes down as much as it is? That means everything is way more expensive over there. Okay. And when you do that to an economy that is already showing signs of cracks, okay, the shit rips open. Okay. So this is just so you guys understand, and this happens in cycles. Okay. China has been challenging us. And if you look at the natural cycles, okay, empires usually only last 200 to 300 years. Okay. This is that evolution where China is trying to be the global leader. Okay, so we're just pushing back on that. And I don't want to get too technical here on you guys, but this is economic warfare. Okay, this usually is what happens before a hot war. Okay, there's actually a couple steps before a hot war, but this is one of the main ones. All right, so maybe we work it out, maybe we don't. We don't know. Okay, but control what you can control. Sorry, Dave.
No, it's all good. But, to your point on that, man, and adding in on there, like things are happening over there that, let's be real, guys, you're not even going to know about it because they're not going to let that leak out of that country. You forget goods and services. That's still a communist country, right? So whatever we know technically about them is what they're letting go or leaking, so to speak, unless there is somebody there leaking the real facts. But in world economics, not going to get technical, but bring it down to a consumer base. Yes, everything's getting expensive over there. So what does that mean? They have to depend on exporting. So who's the biggest consumer? Is us. Okay. We're the ones that actually have the leg up on these tariffs and on them because we're a consumer base. So they depend on us buying their stuff, their goods and services. And when you're maximizing those tariffs, when you're pumping that out there, of course, it's going to create volatility. Right. So that's why if you see all these other countries talking about pausing, which is another fancy word, well, it's because we have the leg up on them. Without us buying people's stuff, there's really no survival for their economies.
Yep.
I think a lot of people don't understand that. Like, we dictate what goes on, our buying patterns.
For
So
now, if we do the smart, if we play our cards the right way, right, it doesn't always have to be that way, and that's what people don't understand. So these are offensive and defensive positions that we need to take as a country for Americans. Here's the other thing. Sorry, Dave, I didn't mean to cut you off. Dude.
nah, man, hey, buddy, it's your wheelhouse, man. I know you get fired up on that, so fire away.
No, but like, there's a lot of ignorance about what's going on, right? And like, we
Yep.
talk about controlling the controllables. Well, guess what, guys? If there was ever a time to hop in to U.S. manufacturing, okay, now's the time. There was some crazy statistic, like there's like 50,000, or it might have been 500,000. 500,000 seems like a lot or a stretch. There's something like 50,000 manufacturing plants that are sitting idle. Okay, so guess what? Those are probably going to start getting rented out or bought. Okay. And if you were really, really smart, you would figure out what product or program you could manufacture from resources that are just in the States. Okay. Have almost 100% supply chain from the United States and get into manufacturing a great product. Okay. Yeah. Dave's thinking, but you might see Dave's head explode live on this show.
It's
trying
possible.
to figure it out.
The smoke coming out of my ears. No, like, here's something I'm thinking about. Like, my area in particular, right? There's you're lucky I missed that one. But in my area in particular, right, there was a lot of manufacturing here for over the last 100 years. I mean, guys, not to brag, but you know, Bethlehem's 10 minutes away here. Bethlehem practically built this country, right, from Bethlehem Steel. And it's got me thinking now. There's a lot of, you know, Dixie Cup is 2 minutes from my house, the old factory. All these places, they're turning into either retail space or living space or hotel spaces. Now, I don't want to get off topic here, but when you say that might create some type of real estate opportunity,
Appreciate you.
huh?
No, nothing. Just saying hi to a member.
Oh, wouldn't that create some type of real estate acquisition opportunity? Hey, we have these old factories here. Hey, we're buying this, instead of repurposing this now for living space. Hey, making an attractive property for manufacturing here. Hey, maybe the government might even start giving tax incentives like they did to Allentown to rebuild downtown because it used to be a shopping mecca.
Correct.
You know?
Correct, dude. Think about this. Imagine all those old factories that they're repurposing, right? All of a sudden they get bought out by manufacturing companies. Now, how many jobs, okay, get added to your area? What does that mean? That means more people are moving there. That means property prices go up, okay? That means they have to build new infrastructure. It is a win-win-win. If you look at some of the shittiest places now, okay, that were in their prime, amazing. Detroit. Just look at Detroit. How many factories? Okay, and hey, Dave, I'm not shitting on Pennsylvania, but there are certain towns in Pennsylvania, okay, that look like fucking ghost towns.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh. But they have great histories, right? At one point, that city was amazing. That was the city, okay, or the town. Why? Because they had all these big companies moving there and jobs. Let me tell you something. One of the biggest strategies I ever had in real estate, okay, was multifamily investing. I still do it to this day. All right. One of the things I look for where I'm going to buy is where has the most job growth, population growth, and are there upcoming investments or projects and infrastructure? Okay. If those three things align, okay, you don't really need to be an excellent property picker. You could pick any type of multifamily in there and still win. All right. And these are just metrics that I look at and serve me well. This goes the same. It's the same fucking principles.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're following the data and the trends, man. Like, numbers don't lie.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So this is all really, really positive for us, but we have a couple fucking idiots spinning it. Okay. We have a couple idiots saying, hey, this is because they don't understand what's going on.
That's a little more than a couple.
Right. This might have been our best one. I love this one. All right, you guys better share the shit out of this because this is a really, really, really good breakdown of what's actually going on.
Because realistically, man, like, I don't I don't think a lot of people see, like, if you really look at the wide angle lens, man, you're right. This is a good one. You know, there's opportunity, man. Like when you really
Yeah.
break it down, like we're talking about properties and stuff. How much more does that bring? Brings lifestyle, brings other retail, right?
Dude,
You
I
know?
just told you the biggest opportunity.
Yeah.
Get in, find a product, design a product or something. Get a wholly owned U.S. supply chain, okay, and run that. Run it.
And do the work.
Yeah. All right, guys. Listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I certainly did. This was fun. I got to nerd out and geek out a little bit. I don't get to do that often. All right. So share this with someone that needs to hear it, and we appreciate you guys.
Be great, y'all.